This conference will now be recorded.
All right, as always, everything that we're going to be talking about today is for educational purposes only, and nothing is intended as any type of investment advice. So kind of a weird day, just kind of, to put the personality of the day in mind. I mean, I've been seeing a lot of movement. I just haven't been happy with a lot of the stuff that I have been seeing. I know today personally I have made a lot less trades than I've made all of the month of January. So just trying to give you an idea that there's no reason to force anything, guys. We have 28 days in the month of February that we're going to be able to go through, so there's no reason to force anything when the trades come out. We just have to continue to follow the rules. Now, don't get me wrong, there was some really good stuff out there, but just not a lot of it. It really had to be kind of picky and really find the market makers out there that were going to show you that something was going to happen. And that's exactly how I'm expecting this afternoon to be. My list is very, very small. I really don't have many new things that I've seen out there, but let's get into it. So first thing is this LODE. Now, all day. I mean, if you look at just the consistency that we've seen the volume, besides basically from about 10:45 until coming into about 11:45, so you're talking about an hour. That's really the only time that the volume really went down and stayed consistently there. We've been seeing so much buying continuously coming into here. 350, just a perfect example again of what just happened before. The buying is there now. Also, we have great buying at 4 for both times that it came back up. So the only thing is that we can see it is not pretty. One of the big things, and we're going to talk about this in our first stages of classes coming up next week. But one of the things that I look for all the time is how many triggers are successful. And when I say triggers, it doesn't even matter what the prints are. I'm just looking for how often when we do get price action and volume does the stock able to really kind of break out and continue on its way. And if you look ever since pretty much 11:30, there's been one spot that comes into there. So what that's telling me is that I really need to look, especially on a cheaper stock like this, going to have to look for something that kind of changes its personality and shows us this guy at 4 is ready to make money. And the volume's just not there. We need to see something extraordinary to come into there to really be a safe trade that's not going to come back and end up shaking you out. So it's got all the buying in the world to be able to get to 5. I have no doubt in my mind about that aspect of it. The only doubt that I do have is the actual release of it, coming out and being able to push up. So just keep in mind what it needs to look like. We've been continuously talking about this, but what it's going to have to look like, and it's going to have to look really, really good. We're not talking about a 10-cent trigger. We're looking almost, over 25 cents to really get this thing going. Now, DBAX, next thing going to be looking at. All right, so we pushed up into the 10. We did not hit, which is obviously unfortunate. But a lot of times, coming into 10 and not really seeing and testing the waters there shows us that there definitely is room to get back up there. It's not going to let me go back, but we do have prints that came in at 950 the first time up. It pulled back a little bit and pushed, but the amount of prints definitely showed us that we had the ability to get to 10. So we're holding this 9 really, really well. Really, at this point, only going to be waiting for a trigger to be able to pop us up back towards. If the trigger doesn't come in, then we're probably going to end up floating around for most of the afternoon. Just keep in mind this is shortable as well, so we can go either side of things, but we just haven't really got anything that shows us that it really needs to come down, and we're just not seeing the trading that shows us it's time for it to go up. So overall, the highest probability is the percentage of it being able to go back up, because that's what the prints have shown us. So what we're going to be looking for is, once again, just something that out of the ordinary. We're in a beautiful volume pattern right now. You can see we've been waning pretty much since almost 1 o'clock, a little bit before 1 o'clock. So coming into there, we just need something to get us out of this little hump. We're talking about 350 to 400,000 shares on enough price action, and we should be good to go to get at least back towards that double top. Not looking for anything crazy here. Remember, the way that this day has been and the way that the afternoon is basically shaping up, we're looking for base hits. Base hits will turn into home runs. We're not looking for any type of home runs in anything right now. And as obviously as we can see, there's just not as much trading going on out there as we need. And it is what it is. Like, I know the snow is still continuing here in Long Island. I can only imagine what Manhattan looks like. It's kind of one of those just slower type snow day type days. Next thing looking at is GSM. So 2 times came up. We have our prints up here at 3 that show us that we do have the ability to get to 350. We're all the way back down. This is on our side list though, because obviously we needed to start trading just like everything else. So basically a trigger to the upside. We have the buying up high enough for us to get to, once again, towards that 350. Where right now we're about 90 cents away, which, it's a huge trade for such a cheap stocks. But then once again, I look for, how many triggers have worked out, and you got one pretty much since right after 10 o'clock. There's just not much there. So we need that change in personality in order to be able to get back up there. And then F is the same type of deal. Now, the one thing about F is that it had phenomenal buying as it surpassed above that 11, but they didn't test 1150 either. So 1125's got great prints. Above that is okay. It's not, it's nothing that great, but it is in a bullish setup. You can see this flag if we break it down over in this 15-minute. Very consolidated, very bullish. We need a real breakout to come out of this, and the volume pattern, it's there. It's just unfortunately a lot of times when you get these news catalysts within these stocks, they end up kind of just dying out for the rest of the day before they really make their moves. But if we look over at the daily again, you have that, that staircase that came back down. We're breaking back out of it. There is a lot of opportunity here. It's going to come down to the trading. As long as we can get some type of actual trading coming into any one of these 4 stocks, we have the possibilities to continue moving. All right, guys. Now, anything else out there that I missed? Anything else out there that I missed? Yeah, so INO, obvious. I didn't miss INO, but again, so it's got great prints at 18. I don't see much more room left for today, and that's where my problem lies. On my afternoon list is something that I have a feeling that I'm going to be able to actually be able to trade it, and I just don't see it here, to be honest. It had phenomenal trading earlier, but the amount of room that's left over. So yeah, don't get me wrong, it's 100% should be on your watch list. There's nothing there that I can give you really for the afternoon. I just don't see it. All right, guys. So that does it for our meeting. Let's get ready for the afternoon. And like I said, guys, there's no reason to force things. It's so easy to come from such a phenomenal month or a phenomenal week or even a phenomenal day and get excited and try to get out there trading. But if the trades aren't there, they're just not there. Sometimes the best trade is just not taking anything. So I know me personally for my game plan, I'm going to need to see something that's either brand new that comes out with some type of catalyst, or I'm going to need to see trading starting to come back into a lot of these. And that, that's it. If I don't make a trade, I can almost promise I'll make a trade from now until 4. But if I don't, I don't. It is what it is. So just make sure we're not trying to force anything. You never want to start your, the first of the month when it's just a slow day trying to force things. It sets up a habit for the rest of it. So let's make sure that we keep that in our minds. I will talk to everyone in the chat, and happy trading.